Alright guys, could you guess what I'm using this Rainbird 1/4-inch drip tubing for? I got 50 foot of it for like $9. And it's PE plastic, polyethylene. Got a weird little texture on the outside. I'm not sure what that's for. I'll tell you what it is. It's a return line for my injectors. I ordered the injector kit. It comes with all the little T's for my skid steer for that Deutz engine. It's a 1011F diesel, oil cooled. But the lines that were on there were that braided, and they would just seep in diesel. And the more I used it, the more they were leaking. And I knew it was a matter of time before the dang thing ended up catching on fire. Today is Friday at 4:45. Monday, I've got to take that on a job and be pretty much running it 8 hours a day, running a grapple. So I was like, well, the kid ain't going to be here till Tuesday evening. So I started buying up all the little fuel line I could get my hands on, and everything was either too small. This was actually the closest, but it wasn't real tight going on, and I was afraid it was just going to blow it back off. Now I did buy, let's see, some blue stuff. I've got it in the truck. It's that blue plastic fuel line for lawnmowers. It fit really, really tight, almost too tight, to the point where I was going to have to stick it in hot water and get it soft and then press it on each one of the little fittings. But that was the only one, that drip tubing, that I could mash on really, really hard and not have to heat it or do any of that. So, believe it or not, and yes, the engine's still dirty. I still have to clean this thing up. I still got to service it, but I've got to put it to work right now and get a couple of jobs under my belt. So, I didn't get that one quite mashed down all the way. None of them are leaking. And I've just been running this thing and running it, and it has not leaked yet. Now granted, it doesn't have much pressure, and you're going to be like, oh, how do you know it's diesel proof? Well, I googled it. So PE line, plastic line, is highly resistant to oils and acids, stuff like that. I'm like, well, if it'll handle that, it'll handle diesel. And knock on wood, it has been. So hopefully that'll get me through the job. Tuesday I'll get the other stuff and put it on there, and we'll be good to go. That was one of the last few things I had left to do to that machine. I wanted to check something real quick. I forgot I had these little lights. They actually go to a Model A. They got the old cloth wiring. And I thought, oh, these are really cool. They'll be worth something. No, they're not. Because you look right there, made in Japan. They're just like a knockoff. So let's ground that and see if they're 12 volt or not. I'll try to do this with one hand. I thought these might make good lights for the skid steer. Yeah, they work. Well, maybe they won't. Because here's the other thing. Then I got to build a bracket. I'll save them. I might be cool on a little tractor or something. I've got the set of them, so they'll be cool. They'll be good for something. I might even put them on the little go-kart. I don't know, because it is going to have electric. No, dang it. It's electric start, but it's 110 volt. Scratch that idea. Okay, so I'll probably just go down to Atwood's or somewhere and buy some of them little LED cube lights. I think they'll work good. I don't always run this machine at night, but, well, I don't for jobs. I might now, doing what we do now. But there's been plenty of times I've had to come out here and move stuff around or load something or unload it after dark. So, and if you'll go back through one of my other videos, I did a review of the cab enclosure. That's what those little brackets there are for. They're for the little vinyl door And it's just a soft top basically, but it fits really snug. It really seals up the cab good. It's just held on with these little bungee cords. I wouldn't go down the road with it on a trailer, but this winter, if we get a real cold, rainy day, I'll be dry as can be in there. And then I did put some pipe insulation. I just split it and then shoved it under there to seal that last little bit up. Now, the door I got does not, it's supposed to be a solid flap, and they sent me one that's got the cutout in the middle for the older machines with a single cylinder, which is fine. We're not worried about getting this thing airtight. We're just worried about sealing it off where I can stay warm and dry. So far, my oil level's been staying good. I haven't got any more leaks, knock on wood, yet. But I know I'm going to. Like, this fitting might be loose. I'll have to check that with a wrench because it's definitely seeping. But this machine is sat, and I know the more I run it, the more I'm going to have little things go wrong, and I'm good with that. I mean, as long as nothing like blows a pump out or a drive motor, I'm happy. And if it gets to that point where it does that, well, I guess I'm going to have to learn how to rebuild one of them again. I have rebuilt pumps and some motors, but God, that was years ago. I don't know if I could still remember how to do that, but it's all nuts and bolts, folks. Only one way to learn, just to do it. So I got that thing fixed, but that's a weird. So it has a little 12-volt battery. Father-in-law said it wouldn't hold a charge no more, it wouldn't work. He had 2 of these batteries and 1 of the smaller ones. And I checked them for voltage, they all had like 6 volts. The weird thing was this thing has 1, 2 in reverse. Well, when I hooked up the 12 volts to it or whatever, a hot battery, I had 2 reverses and 1 forward. And I've heard where if you ever sometimes batteries will get so discharged they'll actually reverse. So I've got a modern, like a gel type battery in there, and I've actually got them hooked up backwards. So now we're back to having low, high. In reverse, you have to hold it. But I don't know if it'll ever switch back to where the gears work properly or what, but hey, it is what it is. The kids can ride it now. And I've got that mower out of here. I got the carburetor figured out for that. I've got my lift working, got my remote mounted on the wall, which it's magnetic and it's got a long lead. I can pull it off and carry it with me or stick it on the vehicle or whatever. I've got a lot of cleaning up to do, and yeah, hopefully we'll be back to working out of here pretty soon. But for now, I need to get to work and make some money. And now that the skid steer is all, I think it's about 99.9% done. Like I said, until we get it out on a job and see what it's going to do, you know, I'm crossing my fingers that it does a good job and I don't have to spend a pile more money working on it. But it is what it is. That's what happens when you buy older equipment. You gotta work on them. So I got both grapple buckets ready to rock and roll. This one is gonna need this line still. It's bent, and if it ever gets hit the other direction, it's just gonna snap off and blow apart. But I've got all my mounts put on there. I do have to get 2 more 5/16 nuts. But I've got them where none of the pins will fall out now. Everything's actually attached. I don't like this. I had to put these on there to stop the arms because I changed the geometry when I built them. I was worried they wouldn't open up far enough. Well, they close all the way and then they open up way too far. So I don't have time to cut them loose and move them down and change the whole geometry of it. So for now, I just built them stops. Later, I'll probably take some of this 1/2-inch plate. I've got plenty more of it. And I'll build like a triangular shaped piece. When that comes up, it hits in here and locks in. Can't go. But right now, that's heavy wall stuff. I mean, it'd take a lot of banging to bend them up. I got one on each arm or each piece. So it should work. I mean, this is all this has, is just that. It's got 4 of them, and they hit that 1/2-inch plate down there. So as long as I don't get real wild, like slam them open, then it'll start turning them into diamond shapes, and I'll be in bad shape then. But it's usable, and I'm very happy I got this, because now I have a open bottom bucket, which I can sift out dirt and small rocks and stuff like that, but I can still grab like a lot of brush and trash. And it'll be super handy, because when I curl the bucket up like this, I'll be able to see through the bucket, see what I'm grabbing or not grabbing. Where this one, you can't really tell. You just you got to get under it and then roll the bucket up and grab. And a lot of times it gets in here in the middle and you can't tell what you're getting. Curl the bucket back and you got either way too much in the bucket or not near enough. So yeah, there you go. We're ready to rock and roll. I'll probably take both of these on the job with me. I'm going to hook that one up to the machine and we'll just run it, because we need to. And if something happens, that line blows, at least I can drop that one and grab this one and finish up the job. I say finish it. We'll be using it for about a week. And tomorrow I've got a guy coming to pick that up. It's a project machine. We had a little bit of a circus trying to load it up yesterday. Bent his trailer, picked the back end of his truck about 3 or 4 foot off the ground. That thing is extremely heavy. So now he's going to bring a big bumper pull tilt trailer like mine that has a winch built on it. So I had my winch hooked up to the machine, to that, and was pulling it, I had him running the winch on my truck while I was behind that thing pushing it with a skid steer. But the truck was at such an angle, it wasn't pulling it straight on the trailer, it was pulling it kind of to the side, and I couldn't get a good solid pull. And plus the floor of that trailer he had wasn't the greatest, so it was just basically pulling it into the floor of the trailer rather than pulling it up on. So the one he's bringing, he'll be able to back straight up to it, tilt it down, and I've kind of got it up on that hill where he can back up here, and it won't be pulling it straight up, it'll probably be pulling it almost level, and shouldn't have any problem getting that. Now the only other issue is it freewheels. So the only thing we may have to do, I may have to be behind it with my skid steer and a chain hooked up to it, kind of holding it back, because if it's going downhill when it hits a trailer, there's nothing going to stop it from rolling forward and into his truck, because these plates are removable. So you take them bolts out, you spin this around, and that little nipple pokes outward, and then to lock the planetaries in, and it won't roll unless it's powered. When we went to get this thing, we could not make it move. There's one of the old cleats off my old steel tracks. There's probably several of them out here. I'll find them when I mow. And then I noticed these, and I'm like, wait a minute. We take them off, you turn them around backwards, and that nipple points in, and it pushes a rod that releases the hub, the torque hub, where it freewheels now. The planetaries are not, they're disengaged. So, fun fact, if you ever get a machine like this, it's broke down, and with this one, it's just got direct drive electric motors, 48 volt, with a hydraulic brake. You have to have hydraulic power to release the brake. Obviously, it doesn't have the battery, so there's no way to release a hydraulic brake. So if you get a machine like this, you need to roll it, check this hub. If that little plate's removable and it has a nipple sticking out, you can unbolt that. It's just 2 little 7/16 bolts. You can unbolt that plate, turn it around, put it on backwards, tighten it back down, and that'll push in that center of the planetary, the little rod, and it'll release it. So, like I said, that's going to be the only issue with this, is when we go on his trailer, he almost needs it a little lower in the back, where he has to pull it, and then we can get it where we want it, and I'll take them plates out, turn them around, and boom, it's like brakes. The brakes will be locked in. So anyways, that's just a little tidbit of info that I know a lot of you guys know that, but there's a lot more of you guys that don't know you can release them. And not all planetaries do that, but some do. So anyways, he'll be here tomorrow, Saturday, about 1. My wife's working, but I got the 2 kids. I need to clean a little area in the shop, and I'll put a little TV out here. They can play, and I'll be right here loading this thing up and keep them tended to, get him loaded up and on the way. And then Sunday, the wife is off, so I got the whole day to knock out some projects, probably split up some more wood. I need to consolidate that pile of junk and trash. I need to get the tires aired up on that buggy and bring it back in the shop so I can work on that. And I don't know, there could be 30 days in a week and it would not be enough, but you guys know that just as well as I do. I mean, there's never enough days in the week. So let's get this shop locked up. I'm gonna go up to the house and take a shower, and by the time I get done and get dressed, it'll be time to go grab the kiddos and then come home and start fixing supper. I got the keys. Yep, I got the keys. All right, and next thing, I've got a guy working on my SEO, the search engine optimization, trying to get my channel monetized. I've been working on this and working on it. I don't always have time to do what I need to do. So I've hired a professional to help me. It could take anywhere from 3 months to a year before I actually see any results. But one of his suggestions was to do at least, at a minimum, do 2 live videos a week, every week. I don't know about all that. I've done a few out on the job, but my question for you guys is, would you want me to do a live video on anything in particular? Because I know what I would do one on, but I don't know what you guys would want to see. So maybe like a Q&A on all my junk or what I do. Who knows? Y'all let me know what you think in the comments. And if I get enough people interested in watching a live video, and have a good idea of what you want to see in it, I'll start doing at least 2 a week. And hopefully we can get to the point where I'm doing what I need to do with my channel. So with that, I'm gonna let you guys go, and I will be seeing y'all on the next video. Hope y'all have a great weekend. Hope all of your holidays went good, and hope the new year is so far going as good for y'all as it's going for me so far. So thanks for watching, guys. We'll see y'all in the next one. Later.